Hey guys, welcome back to Glam Finds, and I'm here with a fragrance that is definitely newer to my collection. I don't think it's been out for very long, but I bought it because I have most of these, but well, I've owned most of these bottles at some point, and I just wanted to know what the hype was about. And all honesty, I thought the bottle color was nice from the house of Lattafa. It's Badee Al Oud Noble Blush. And I really like the color pink, so I really wanted to pick this up, and I liked the notes. And I feel like they've kind of upgraded this bottle a little. But anyway, I really like the bottle itself. Still comes in that big old presentation like the other ones. Let me go ahead and read the notes. Now, I don't actually know if this is a clone of anything, and if it is, I don't know what it is. This doesn't smell similar to any fragrance that I've smelled before. But you have your top notes of rose milk, mid of meringue and almond, and then the base notes of vanilla, sandalwood, and musk. Based on literally every single one of those notes, you can tell that this is going to be a creamy fragrance, and it is. And the rose in here, I know it's going to sound so cliche, is kind of like a pink rose, as this would, or I would say my nose detects it as a pink rose. Pink rose to me is like kind of like a light, really femmy rose that oftentimes will be combined with things that makes it a little bit powdery. And for me, this fragrance is powdery. So it's powdery, it's sweet. The rose is definitely prevalent here, but again, it's not going to be like the red, rich rose that you're going to smell a lot of things. This is a much more youthful rose. And in this, I would say that this is more of a gourmand fragrance because the powderiness from the almond and the meringue, and you got the rose milk, everything put together, it leans in the gourmand direction. I don't necessarily think I could call it a true gourmand though. Basically, it just smells sweet and creamy. Like, I think that's the easiest way to describe this. No note is super distinct either. Like, these notes really make this sweet, creamy, and powdery. I feel like that's a really important thing because not everybody likes a powdery fragrance. This is definitely a powdery fragrance. Really hard to dislike. Is there anything that I think it smells like specifically? No. I think oftentimes people might jump to other pink bottles. I think Delina will probably be one of them because seeing something like this, you're like, oh, is it Delina? Delina's also pink. No, it's not Delina. And upon first spray, I was like, oh, it could be, but it's not because this is like really sweet, creamy, powdery. And that's not what I get from this. Now, I do have something that this reminds me of, and I don't want to ruin this fragrance for anybody, but once this dries down, there is a very specific Dove deodorant that this reminds me of, and once I smelled it, I couldn't unsmell it, and now like that's all I smell when I smell this, and it's not a bad deodorant. I think for me, it's just kind of messed me up in terms of, I feel like because that Dove deodorant always, every time I smell it on somebody, I feel like it's strong and it smells kind of like powdery. And this reminds me of that. Is it a bad fragrance? Absolutely not. Are most people around you going to love it? Yes. But do I keep smelling that when I smell this? Also, yes. Let me go ahead and get into performance. It performs very well, well over 8 hours. In fact, for me, it was over 10 hours and I never stopped smelling myself. So I never went nose blind to this. The entire time you're gonna get that like powdery, sweet creaminess. And I would actually say it's more powdery in the dry down than the opening. In fact, let's go ahead and respray the opening because this is a 24-hour strip. I just wanted to remember the late dry down. Good sprayer, by the way. Yeah, so I'll also say this, you're gonna get the meringue really strong in the opening, but once this dries down, you're not gonna get it anymore. It's gonna just go into that sweet, creamy powderiness. I really like the opening. The opening doesn't remind me of the deodorant. It's the dry down that takes me there. The opening is the most gourmand part of it. Like the rose milk is definitely there and the meringue is definitely there. The almond kind of starts coming out as it dries down and that's what leads into that powderiness. Vanilla is there the entire time. I really like the opening. I love like, it's almost like a slightly tart opening. So for me, that's like the best part. The dry down, I think most people will like. Again, the only reason I'm just kind of like about it is because it reminds me of that deodorant. So for me, again, opening is the absolute best part, but once it dries down, that powderiness leads me to that. Performance, over 10 hours. Projection, great in the first couple of hours. Never really sits that close to the skin. Really good sillage bubble for most of the life of this fragrance. I mean, at least for a full workday, I would say. No slouch in performance. In fact, Lattafa very rarely slouches in performance. In terms of who can wear it, now this is one that I'm going to be a lot more specific on. I think this is definitely a very feminine fragrance. And on top of that, this is a lot more youthful than even I would prefer to wear. I'm not saying that, you know, people over 25 can't pull it off. I'm just saying I personally wouldn't prefer to wear this scent profile. It is a little more youthful than I prefer. But again, a lot of people are going to like it. It's really hard to dislike. In fact, let me just go right into that. This will definitely get you compliments. It smells good. Who would dislike something with rose milk and almond and vanilla? It's very, very easy to love. Nothing offensive about it at all. Again, that powderiness, people wear deodorant that kind of smells like that to me. Anyway, in terms of bang for buck, it's an incredible bang for buck. Again, great performance, gets you compliments, and I do not remember what I paid for this, but I bought it as soon as it came out. It was like maybe in the $40 range. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up here. So that means it's going to be in the $25 to $35 range, you know, after a couple months have passed. That's a great price. Lattafas are typically a great price. In fact, the most expensive Lattafa I've ever bought was $50, and the packaging is ridiculous. But do I think most people are going to like this? Absolutely yes. I just wanted to be really honest about what I smelled because, well, I'm really honest about what I smell in all my videos. So if you've tried this fragrance, let us know what you think. As always, remember to like this, and if you liked it, be subscribed to my channel. Hit that notification bell to get notified when I drop another video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!